Whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Change is good for everybody.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Montana.
Whoa, whoa,
Right
whoa.
fit it in.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
When that hate don't work, they start
Whoa,
telling
whoa,
lies.
Yo, this is Warren Sapp, and you are tuned into the world premiere of my podcast, Route 99. That's right, the Plymouth boy, Orange County, Orlando born, University of Miami Hurricane, Tampa Bay Buccaneer, Raider, Hall of Famer. We about to do this thing the way I love to do it. And that's rough, rugged, raw, and real. That's right. Put your seatbelt on. It's time to ride. It's 99 Podcast, Route 99. Yes, sir. As you ride with 99, what we do on Route 99 is we talk about the great things, the football, the food, the fishing, the fun, a couple current events if I feel like hitting on it and how I feel about it. That's just what it is when you ride with 99. I'm in control of the ride, and we're going to do it the way I like to do it. And you know what time it is. It's the NFL draft. That's right. I was looking on my Twitter the other day, and my man was hitting up that it was so many years to the draft that now the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are selecting number 12 again. I said, what? History don't rhyme. No, history don't repeat itself, but it sure rhymes. And I've never been a rhymer myself, but when I look back at the history of the game, I see that. And I'm looking at it now, and I'm checking out this draft, and something hit me the other day and said, history again, Sap. Your draft, 1995, a running back from Penn State University, rushed for about 1,800 yards, third in the Heisman, looked like a pretty good prospect. And the Carolina Panthers was drafted number 1. And all of a sudden, the Carolina Panthers no longer had the first pick, and they traded it. And that draft pick was used to draft Kajana Carter. Now, I'm not saying Sinku Barkley is Kajana Carter, but I'm just saying that history don't repeat itself, but it sure do rhyme. Yeah. That's where I started off. History is my thing, and I love history, and history is a beautiful thing. But, we're going to see what happens and see how excited the New York Giants are about, possibly putting the running back in the backfield. And I don't know what they're thinking. They better get a pass rusher. Did I just say that out loud? Yeah, I did. All right. So we're going to look at the draft, and we're going to see what the Bucs going to do, which they should go with an offensive lineman. You must protect Jameis Winston. That's right. I'm going to go to the Bucs first. And I know Cleveland got the first pick and all the other draft picks that they're looking at right now. And I'm looking at Cleveland, and I'm like, you got to get a quarterback. The National Football League is about quarterbacks, and you must get yourself a franchise quarterback in which to lead you. And wow, I've actually sacked Tim Couch, and my second game in the National Football League was against the Cleveland Browns in Cleveland Municipal Stadium, which some would say the mistake by the lake. Can't say that anymore because it's a great place. Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Just don't go there in the winter months because, I don't know about you, but I'm subtropical. I can't handle that. So I'm looking at Cleveland, and they got 4 quarterbacks right now that they're evaluating. How are they going to do this, and what are they going to do about it? Because one team is not built in one draft, and Cleveland has enough draft picks to spread it out. Can they do that thing and switch it around like that history report I'm telling myself back in the day? Switch that draft pick, switch it around, give it to somebody else, and then drift back and see who drafts Sam, Josh, the other Josh, or Baker Mayfield. All right, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That's a franchise I'm known for and love, no doubt about it. And it's all about Jameis Winston for me at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers because in the division they're in with Drew Brees, Cam Newton, Atlanta Falcons, and, Matt Ryan, high flying, we talk about 30 points. There's no more Tampa 2. There's no more 17, 14 games. If they play it that way, it's just because of the familiarity between the divisions of the team. But Tampa must get offensive linemen, protect Jameis Winston, get some run game going, and get themselves situated. But I tell you what, as we talk about this draft, I got a beautiful draft prospect that I was, just speaking of Tampa, I was in Tampa visiting, and Joe Oman, the NCAA sack champion, 14 sacks, 19 and a half tackle for loss. The young man was there working out, and I had a chance to work with him, and he will be my first guest on Route 99. We're back with the Route 99. That's right, Route 99. This is Warren Sapp. And joining the show, 6'3", 260 pounds, 14 sacks, led the nation in sacks last season. We're talking about Joe Oman. Did I pronounce that correctly?
Yeah, OSTMAN. That's fine.
Oman. All right. Oh, Joe Oman. Joe, from the University of Central Michigan. Give me your measurements, Joe, because I'm looking at 6'3", 260, and I've been face to face with you. How big are you, young man?
Like 6'2.5", 254 right now, about probably 255. Yeah.
You all muscle. You all muscle. Trust me, I've been face to face with you. You all muscle, young man. Where you from?
Northern Michigan, Mackinac City. It's a small town in Mackinac City, in Michigan, and went to a school with about 200 kids.
All right. Nice. All right. And the question I have for you was, how was the pro day?
Overall, I felt like it went pretty well. There were a couple things I thought I could have done better, but overall, I was happy with it, with my numbers and position drills. So,
Did you have a good audience there?
Yeah, all 32 teams were in attendance.
So all 32 teams come to see you work out up there in Central Michigan, and they will not invite you to the combine. Do I find something wrong with that?
Yeah, I don't know. We also had a few other guys working out as well, but
Of course, you bring all your teammates to the party. Trust me, I was
Yeah.
at the University of Miami. They're like, Dad, what day you working out, baby? Whatever day y'all need me to work out, tell me, and I'm gonna make sure
Right.
y'all there because that's the only way you get to showcase your talent is with your teammates.
Yeah, exactly.
What'd you learn at the Shrine Bowl? Because I didn't get an opportunity to play in the Shrine Bowl because they wasn't taking juniors, underclassmen when I got ready to take off.
It was a good week. We had the chance to go to the hospital and meet some of the Shriners patients, and also just compete with guys from around the country and meet scouts and NFL coaching. So it was a little bit different experience compared to college. But it was a good week overall.
So were you training still in Tampa?
Yeah. Yep.
That's a good place to train. Nice and hot, good grass,
Yeah.
ready to roll.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
You flipping them hips and getting going again?
Yeah, still working on it.
It's an everyday thing that you have to work on, young man. It's an everyday thing. You know, when you walk through a doorwell, what I tell you, you got to put a move on it, baby.
Yep, definitely.
All right, where you think we're going?
I don't know. It's hard to say. I mean, I've seen projections later rounds. I mean, I don't know. So just hope for the best and kind of wait and see now. Everything else is done.
So what are you going to do on draft day? You going to get a nice barbecue with the family and hang out and watch it, or you going somewhere special?
Yeah, no, that's pretty much the plan. Just hang out at the house and have some family members over and some close friends and just lay low. So
I'll tell you a draft nightmare from about 20 years ago. I should have been at home in Plymouth, Florida, with a nice cookout going myself, but I did the foolish thing and take off to New York thinking I'm stupid. But hey, it happens sometimes. All right.
Yeah.
My final question for you. I'm a GM. You just walked into my office. Tell me why should I draft Joe Oman?
I think you're going to get a hard worker, and football is really important to me. It's been one of the most important things in my whole life. I don't think you're going to find a guy that values football much more. Like, I love the sport, and I'm always going to give everything I have when I'm on the field, and I'm going to maximize the potential that I do have and make sure that I hold myself accountable and responsible for the team.
And I will second that, Joe, because I have been in your face and I've seen you work and I've seen your determination, young man. All the best of luck to you, baby, and thank you for joining me on the Route 99. Take your seatbelt off. You're free to go.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thanks. Have a good one.
All right, baby.
All right.
The NCAA sack champion and draft prospect. Welcome back to Route 99, and yes, sir, it's your boy Warren Sapp, and it's draft time, and there's no one around draft time that I would rather sit with and talk to about the kids going into the draft, or the young men. I ain't gonna say kids, but I gotta say kids. I'm 45 and I got a kid in college, so they're kids to me. It's Corey Chavous, the ex-NFL safety, second-round pick of the Arizona Cardinals with 20 career picks, and also a fellow member of the 2003 Pro Bowl team. What it do, Corey? What it do, baby?
Man, what's going on, WS, man? Make it happen up in here, man.
I'm already
Talking
making it
a little
happen.
bit of
I want to
draft, I
know.
love it.
You know what? You're a college football analyst right now for CBS Sports website, and you do draftnasty.com. So bring it to me. Is draft nasty? Is draft time? They talking about 4 quarterbacks. I want to hear what my DB got to say about these 4 quarterbacks. Give it to me.
Well, I mean, I for me personally, they've got the big four, but Warren, I think the most dynamic quarterback is without question Lamar Jackson in the draft, and I think for me, when it comes down to what he's going to be, I think that the upside, you can say boom or bust all you want, but he's got the biggest chance to boom out of all the quarterback class. I think he has the most upside. Now, I like Josh Rosen too. I think he's another guy. You know, you got the durability concerns with him, but he's been asked to do it from the time he got into school. You take back that 2016 shoulder injury. Even this year, I thought he performed well. There's going to be the durability concerns with him. He's going to have to overcome those concerns. But he's my number 2. And then after that, you got Darnold, Allen, Mayfield in that order. So that's my order. Jackson 1, and then Rosen, and then go from Rosen to Darnold, to Josh Allen, to Baker Mayfield.
Okay, all right. Now, I got a concern with Jackson because I got 2 exclamation points because I put the big 4 and I got 2 exclamation points right here on my paper right in front of me so I can talk the draft nasty. I got 2 exclamation points there because I just got to keep it real with you. What's up with the mom and the agent thing?
Well, I mean, I think that's. I think once he lost his father, I think it got to the point where they became a private family.
Okay.
And for the most part, she's one of those moms that's. I don't get all that part about what they're trying to construct from a business perspective. I think that some of that is probably going to cost him money, and it could cost him in this draft. And I'll be the first to tell you, if he doesn't go high enough in the draft where you necessitate you develop him, if he ends up going into the second round, Warren, I don't see. I don't know if he'll ever get that opportunity. You know, it comes down to those guys that go in the first round are going to get the opportunity. So if he doesn't get that, then the decision was bad going with your mom. But if he does go in the first round, I don't really think it has much of a big deal on his future because he gets that 5th-year option. And I think that's a big deal for these first-round quarterbacks.
Oh, yeah, it better be because we talking about a nice payday. Jameis Winston just got his picked up for the Bucs. $20 million. Hey, so you ain't on the Josh Allen train?
Well, I mean, I like him. I think, 18 of his 21 career interceptions came when they were tied or when they were trailing. I mean, you watched the Boise State game this year. Late in that game, got a chance to bring him back, and he threw an interception, But before that, he had dirt ball 3 balls in a row. You can go back. I went to go see him play in person last year in the Holiday Bowl. And against, they're driving for the winning score. He throws the interception to Kai Nakul to end that game off. So for me, you can parse whatever you want from these quarterbacks. With Lamar Jackson, you could go back to the bowl game against LSU where he got cremated a year ago. This year he played terrible against Mississippi State. But I can go back to Myles Garrett. 3 years ago, I was on the field for that game, and he ran circles around Texas A&M and Myles Garrett, another guy who's was the top pick in the draft last year. So people can take what they want from these games. I feel like Jackson's done it against the best competition, the ACC, just like Deshaun Watson did.
All right, Baker Mayfield. I was listening to everybody, because I ain't been in the game real good, and I try to get back in and splash a little bit and listen and see what's going on. And I heard Drew Brees, and I'm like, what the hell, Drew?
Right. Well, Drew Brees went where? Second round?
I'm too old, and my CTE act up sometimes, so I ain't really.
We all got a little bit of that.
Got a little bit of that. Yes, sir.
I'll take a little bit of it, but that's part of the price of the game. But at the end of the day, if Drew Brees was second round, and now you're telling me he's top 5, there were questions about Drew Brees. Was he tall enough? Now, the last quarterback that was this height, that went this high, potentially top 5, top 10, you're talking about Michael Vick.
Oh.
So you're talking about that was the last 6-foot quarterback that went in the top 5. If there's another one, then let me know about him. I mean, Russell Wilson went in the 3rd round. So I think it's kind of important to, like, when you're looking at these quarterbacks, how do they grade against the other guys that were in that same height, weight, speed ratio? And for me, Baker Mayfield, he's got to get over the Big 12 stigma. The American Athletic Conference had more draft picks than the Big 12 last year. So that's a big.
Speaking of stigmas, I got a stigma of the Big Ten. Big Ten running backs just do not pan out in the National Football League because it is like watching a Saturday afternoon Pop Warner game where that one kid is faster than everybody else. I mean, you just get those games, all the time. And that's really what I thought I was seeing when I saw Saquon Barkley was, like that Pop Warner kid that's just faster than everybody else that's on the football field. I got a stigma on it, and, it's draft nasty time. What do you say about Mr. Barkley?
Well, I think he makes some good points. I mean, because look at the Michigan State game, the Ohio State game. Those games are concerning, but I went to go see him play in person too. And I like what he can do from a multi-dimensional standpoint. You can move him around a little bit.
Yeah.
If you think he's going to be the bell cow, to your point, I don't care what conference he's playing in. He lost more yardage than most of these top backs this year. 3rd and 1 to 3. He had 20 opportunities, I believe, this year, converted about half of them. 3rd down, 1, 2, and 3. I don't care how the line is blocking. You got to pick up those short yardage first down.
3 yards in a cloud.
Yeah, you got to do it. So he's got to get more determined as a runner, and I think he's got really good lateral agility. You can see some LaDainian Tomlinson type qualities, but he's not as instinctive of a runner as LaDainian Tomlinson. Not as downhill as Ezekiel Elliott. For me, he reminded me more of Deuce McAllister coming out. When Deuce was in college, a lot of people said, "What are you talking about?" Well, Deuce returned kicks in college. He was a multi-dimensional player in school. So that's kind of more of where but I didn't have any problem with that. I like Deuce McAllister as a top 10 pick too. But I think temper your expectations if you think he's going to be a role grading back. I don't know about that.
Yeah, because I'm looking at this. When you're talking about top 5, top 3, that's got to be LT, Marshall Faulk, bell cow, ring the bell. We're going to give it to you 25, 30 touches a game. I mean, and speaking of...
Well, no, I agree with you. But for me, if that's the case, right, why do I feel, if I'm an NFL team, right, why am I going to go against how the college used them? If they put them in the slot, if they got them returning kickoffs, if they use them all these different ways, then we're going to get to the NFL and we're going to make him a bell cow. The last time he was really a bell cow back, running in more of a downhill scheme, you got to go back to his freshman year. A lot of what they did was side to side at Penn State.
All right. It's mock draft time. Give me your top 5.
Well, you name the team, and we can parcel through this one too.
All right, well, let's go for the top then. I'm the Cleveland Browns. I got more picks than the Cowboys got when they gave up Herschel Walker. and I ain't won no game to speak of since, 99? So, I mean, what Cleveland to do?
Well, me and you are in the draft room, right? If we want the guy that can handle the cold weather, and as the biggest quarterback, you just asked me a minute ago about the Josh Allen. He's probably the best fit for that weather. I think he can do some of the stuff Taylor can do. But if you want the best player in the draft, then you got to take Bradley Chubb.
You know what? See, now you in my ballpark right there. See, now you coming over to my neighborhood. And I just got to go there because you went there. What the hell is the rest of the defensive tackles at in the national in college football? Where have they gone, Corey? Are we extinct? I'm looking at the top 5 guys. I mean, give me your top 5 guys on the D line. I mean, D tackle, because this is disturbing for me when I'm looking for a defensive tackle.
I tell you what, there's one guy that's got some Warren Sapp in him. Uh-oh. That's right. Yeah, I'm gonna throw something back.
A little wiggle. He got a little wiggle in it.
Yeah. He got a little bit of. He got some explosion when you came out. Well, a lot of people don't realize I was a draft fan back then too.
Of
Before
course, you've
draft
always.
nasty.
That's how you get draft nasty.
But you was a 4'6" guy. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people don't realize that there is a 4'6", 310-pound guy in this draft. And his name is P.J. Hall from Sam Houston State. That's why you brought me on. You brought me on here to get nasty.
You already know why I got you here. So get nasty. This
Hey,
Sam Houston State. You know what? I was in
Yes.
Texas a couple weeks ago catching me some big red and black drums, and somebody said that to me. Say, Sap, there's a kid over here at Sam Houston State that looked like you wheeling and dealing. I said, really? I said, I ain't seen him on no draft board. Then Sam Houston State, I was like, that ain't gonna be on the draft board. That's that Larry Allen. That's that steal that's gonna happen. Somebody finna steal him.
I think so, man. I think he's probably gonna be the guy that, he's my he's behind Vea and BJ Hill. Those guys are more, I think, more one technique, zero technique.
Oh,
this guy right
nose
here.
guard. Hey, but when did we need a nose guard in the new National Football League where you throw the ball 45 times a game?
Yeah.
I'm about to ask. I'm trying to figure this out. If Villa runs a 5-1, and then my man Harrison Phillips come down and run 5-2, I'm like, there ain't no rush.
Well, Harrison Phillips is a little bit lower. He's a little bit low on our board.
Oh, way down, way
Yeah.
down. This nasty. You got to be nasty to be
But,
on this board. I get it.
I tell you what, the couple of guys. Now I like Deron Payne from Alabama.
I do too.
But you got to remember, how many sacks did you have your last year in Miami?
10.5.
10.5. He ain't seen 10.5 his whole career.
He ain't gonna see 10.5 in his life.
Right. So he got to get a lot better as a pass rusher.
Corey, now, I'm trying to figure this out. How are we not developing pass rushers in college? And now I'm hearing the greatest thing I've heard is now they're picking them off analytics.
Yeah, well, hey, listen. If you want to pick off, listen, the analytics guy in this draft, I'm gonna tell you again. That's why you got me on here. The PJ Hall guy, 42 sacks in college. Listen to this now. 86.5 tackles for losses. Check this out. Not 9 during his career, 14 block kicks. 29 pass breakups. And then on top of that, if you want him to throw something in there, 9 forced fumbles. This kid made more plays. And then I'm going to give you something else. I told you he ran 4.6 at 310, 38-inch vertical if you want all them analytics, 36 reps at 225. Then on top of that, he had a 9'8" broad jump. Heck, he jumped 7 inches higher than Calvin Ridley, and we talking about Ridley going in the top 15 at wide receiver. So if you want everything, P.J. Hall's the guy to get on day 3, and then you can get a poor man's Warren Sapp.
Oh my goodness, that don't sound like a poor man Warren Sapp. That sounds like a whole lot of backfield disruption, boy. Oh my goodness. Hey, I went up to Tampa, to Yo Murphy and McFarland them spot up there, ASPI up there in Tampa, and I ran into the NCAA sack leader last year, 14 sacks, Joe Oman, and he wasn't invited to the combine. What the hell is going on at the combine that the NCAA leader in sacks with 14 sacks, 19.5 tackle for loss, don't get invited to the combine? But all 32 teams show up to see him work out. So,
it's funny.
Something got to be wrong with this, ain't it?
Yeah, you're right, Warren, man, because check this out. He didn't get invited. The guy I just talked about didn't get invited.
Yeah.
And then he goes to his workout on his pro day, Joe Oman, and he does a 10-2 broad. You know what I'm saying? He jumps 35 inches, 34 inches. Then on top of that, you got the guy with a 7'1", 7'2", 3 car. I'm talking to scouts. They like what he brought to the table. I had a chance to sit down with him at the East-West Shrine game, and I asked him about a guy who's in the league now. It was a great name you brought up too, man. I'm glad you brought that kid up. And when I talked to him, I said, "Are you gonna be the next Frank Zombo?" Remember, Frank Zombo came out of Central Michigan too. Nobody was talking about him, and all of a sudden, Frank Zombo's been in the league 7 or 8 years. I think you bring up a great name with that kid. He's a guy that's gonna make an NFL team some kind of way.
Corey, and the only reason I'm bringing that name up, I saw this kid with my own eyes, and I worked out with him. I'm like, are you kidding me? They not, I call a couple of people and say, man, ain't y'all missing somebody at the combine? What you mean? I say the NCAA sack leader. I mean,
right.
Hey man,
and it wasn't the first year for him with production either.
No, I know it wasn't. That's what I'm saying. They like he fluked up, and he's very little, or the man 6'2.5", 250 pounds.
Yeah.
When the last time you can't stand up and rush like that?
I think it goes back to what you said earlier, though. If you start talking about analytics, what they're doing now is, if a guy got 31-inch arms, 32-inch arms, he can't play.
No, we done gone to the analytics on the measuring now?
Yeah.
Oh, no. Because my whole thing was, I was, reading in the Bleacher Report, one of them things, and they, because there's a number for everything now. And, somebody had to, put up some numbers with Gerald McCoy's numbers or whatever. I said, well, mine is already buried. You can go back and watch the tape and apply your thing. I would love to see you do that in 1999 and 2000 when I had 29 sacks in them 2 years. I would love to see the analytics and the numbers that you would put out, because
I like the analytics when you went off on Sherman after you laid out on Boyd. That's it, on the crackback block. But that's just me on my analytics at the house.
That was analytics. That was called instinct. whenever you hear that Oski, you know what time it is. Put the siren on, baby.
Oh man, I got my head on a swivel.
What? You better put it on the swivel. That's the golden rule in this thing. All right. Other than PJ. Because I know you always got me something nasty. What it is? What it is? I mean,
well, I got some more guys for you. I think a couple guys. I like Breland Speaks. He's kind of a 4 technique defensive end, defensive tackle, a little bit on third downs. He's only 285 pounds from Ole Miss. Again, another guy.
Y'all talk about 285 pounds like that's a light guy. That's not a light guy.
Well, no, I don't look at it as light. I look at it this way: if he's gonna play in, and if he's gonna play in,
he's heavy.
Maybe, yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
so I
heavy.
look at him as, I think he can move up and down and play a number of positions. I think it's an advantage. I mean, the kid out of Florida can't really find the ball, but he's 6'5", 291. The Taven Bryan kid out of Florida.
Dog in a meat house. Ooh,
yeah.
A lot of bark.
Yeah, I like the way he plays. Man.
Oh no, I love the way he plays. A lot of bark, but boy, ain't much bite to it. God, though.
Yeah. You gotta find the ball.
Really?
Right?
Really? The church's money, Corey. You definitely must find the church's money at all times. All right, I got breaking news. Brandon Marshall has been released by the New York Giants. I don't find that surprising.
Well, I think Brandon Marshall still can play. I mean, I think.
Oh no! I never said Brandon Marshall can't play, but the one thing about Brandon Marshall is he's never been to the playoffs. And
that's crazy.
That is a hard to put on a receiver that catches that amount of passes with 7, 8 straight 1,000, maybe 8 or 9, 10,000 yard seasons in a row or something like that. That string he's on or was on, but he's never been to the playoffs. And that says something about, I don't know what it says, but it says something.
Well, for me, I think when the way it ended in New York with him, Sheldon, Richardson going back and forth talking and having their own personal battle, I think there's something else behind. They had too much talent on that team.
To me, play that bad.
Yeah, I thought so.
I
really did.
So now they got rid of Brandon Marshall. So does that affect the second pick? You the GM, come on.
That doesn't affect the second pick. I mean, to me, again, I'm gonna go back to it. If Bradley Chubb doesn't go first, then he has to go second. If he doesn't go second, then I'm trying to trade out of that pick. Is really, to me, if you're not gonna take the quarterback, because if you're gonna take the quarterback, whoever they got number 1 on their board, they should take the quarterback. I don't know that you're going to continue to just say, we're going to let Eli play this thing out. At some point, you got to get his replacement, you know what I mean, in the building. I heard you talk about it for years about, I know a lot of y'all guys, like Eli and what he could do. But right now, the play is declining. What was it, 23 turnovers last year?
Oh, man.
I think you got to.
Eli's always been a turnover machine, but if you get him in the playoffs, there's something
that's
alive.
Different.
There's something that comes alive in that boy that is just special to watch. And I mean, I've just never seen too many playoff runs with Eli that ended disastrously.
How many more years you got out of him? Can he get back to the playoffs?
I agree with you 1,000, brother. They got to get ahead of it, put themselves in a position to where they have him in the building and they're ready to pull the trigger on him, just like when they pull the trigger on Kurt Warner and allow him to then take over the organization. It has to be the same thing. So, I mean, you know what it is in New York. They want the running back.
What about a Barkley? How do you like a Barkley fit there? I mean,
listen,
do you think that's
what? I'm a believer in history. History doesn't repeat itself, but it showed rhyme. And I remember back in a certain draft, 1995, a running back from Penn State University rushed for 1,800 yards, finished third in the Heisman. Was pretty good. Looked to be a pretty good pick and a pretty good running back. It's going to help the Cincinnati Bengals get over the hump and now be a playoff and a championship team.
Yeah.
How'd that work out?
No, it's crazy.
How'd that work out?
Yeah, and it's interesting you brought that name up because they're almost the exact same weight, almost the exact same height, and they both ran 4.3.
What?
Or 4.
What?
So
look about the same to me, dog.
I just felt like if Kajana hadn't gotten hurt, though, I think it would have worked out a little differently for him.
Oh, no. And I agree with that. But I think this kid is going to get in the game because the speed is going to be a lot different, and he's going to get hit, and it's going to affect him on a mental level. Like, wait a minute, I never got hit like yeah, you're going to get hit like that almost every time, cuz. I mean, and that's
Do you feel like that? Let me ask you something, Warren. Do you feel like that Ohio State game when they had the 21-point lead and he ran 21 times for 44 yards, do you feel like those games stay with a running back? I mean, you played with a lot of great running backs. Do you feel like games like that when you couldn't get it done stay with you when you move on up to the next level?
When you're talking about the great ones, they learn from that one because it was something I did or something I didn't prepare for that this team did to me that surprised me or did something, got me off my game, and I didn't adjust. That's what the great ones do. I think this kid here is one of those kids that once he hits that wall, he's going to be like, well, I just got to go through it, not realizing there's a left and a right, over and under. You know, there might be another route to it. And I'm yet to see that. Whenever we talking about Big Ten running backs that get in the league, other than Eddie George's, 10, 15,000 that he got, I don't know one. I mean, it's hard to find one. I mean, the Melvin Gordon kid was looking pretty good for a minute and, moving pretty good.
I like Melvin, though.
I like Melvin, too. I love a game breaker. Whenever you can touch the ball and strike the field, guard and me, and go to the house, yes, you are something to be dealt with. Yes.
Yeah, I think he's tough. You know what I like about him? I think he's tough. You know what I mean? I think that's the thing about him. Like, I think week to week, I don't necessarily know if he has the wiggle that you would like, you know what I'm saying? But I think he has a certain amount of, I don't even know if he's as athletic as Todd Gurley. I think he's a good athlete and everything.
Yeah,
but
no, he
ain't
Gurley, because Gurley's something special. Oh.
Yeah, he is. He is. And I thought he was going to be better. I'll be the first to admit now, I thought he was better than Gurley.
Yeah. Oh, no one saw this from Gurley. This boy here done came out of his shell and turned himself into an absolute 3-down nightmare in the National Football League.
Yeah.
Toledo. Oh.
And he's proven to be durable.
That's
if you go back to school.
That's the key.
Yeah.
That's the key.
Yep.
Yeah, you got to, hey, man, the golden rule of the National Football League is be available.
Yeah, you got to pay to play, and the only way you're going to get paid is to stay out of the tub.
Oh, no, you can't
make that club in the tub.
You can't make the team in the tub. No way. Yes. That's
but I mean, I tell you what, though, I still feel like getting past them, I think the big one It's the next pick after the Giants, number 3. You know, if you went out and you signed Teddy Bridgewater, you re-signed McCown, do you take the quarterback at number 3?
Oh, yeah, because, that's the whole key to this thing. The Jets about to set this thing off again. What do you do if you the Jets? Come on, you the GM. Tell me.
Yeah, well, for me, like I said, if you're looking for, if you're going to take the quarterback at that position, at the number 3 pick in the draft, I think the best fit for them would be Josh Rosen. You know what I mean? Because, again, like I said, Lamar Jackson for me is over all these guys. But, again, if you're going to go, it doesn't matter what one person or one team thinks. If the consensus is in the Jets room that Josh Rosen would be more like, for example, my point is, if you can get Jackson at 25 or 30, you ain't gonna take him at 3, so it don't matter.
You don't
know
go
what
to
I mean?
take him at 3.
But if Rosen, you ain't getting Rosen at 30.
No.
Or the next round. So if that, to me, that would be the next best quarterback on the board. So for me, for the Jets, that would be the pick, Rosen.
All right, you got Sam Rosen off, and then now we at number 4.
Yeah, well, now this is where it gets interesting because Cleveland's back up.
I was about to say, anybody get real far? Come on now. Come on. That's why I brought you here. Let's get nasty.
Now, my thing is this, though, and I know people think it's crazy. If it was really me in Cleveland, the way to control this draft, take Allen at 1, and whichever one of those, your top 3 quarterbacks are left, you take them at 4. You might say, well, what you talking about? Well, to me, I think you got more ammunition there because there might be 6, 7 teams jockeying for position to move up. Might even be New England, right? They got 2 first-round picks trying to move up. You take both of them quarterbacks, I think you control the draft. You take both of those quarterbacks at 1 and 4. So you take Allen at 1 or Darnold at 1, and then take Allen at 4 or Rosen at 4. And now all of a sudden you control the whole draft. But since we took Chubb, and since we've got Rosen off the board, well, I guess we're going to go with Barkley at 2 to the Giants. Then number 4, let's go ahead and take Josh Allen.
You're going to take Josh Allen.
I'm looking at it from how they going to do it. Because like I told you, if it was me.
I already know. If you what it is, that's how you're going to control the draft board. So now Denver Broncos is up. They got to go with Sam.
Well, they already said they in the market. You know what I'm saying? And they open for business to trade out of that pick. But if Darnold, they open for business to trade out of the pick, right? Yeah. But if they don't trade out of it and they got to stay at 5, to me, I'm gonna go off the board on you again right here. Instead of going the route everybody's thinking, you got Bart for our board. Let's skip over the quarterback. Let's go off the beaten path a little bit.
Where you going?
What about Minka Fitzpatrick?
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and add a little bit to that secondary.
Yeah, impact player, get the thing done. I like that.
Think about it. You've already lost. You've already traded to leave away. You got Bradley Roby. Why not add somebody back there with Justin Simmons? Now, your safety position's already in good shape. But at the end of the day, why not just add another cover guy? Yeah, can't never have enough cover guys. That's how they've always done it.
You always need more people to cover in the National Football League. They throw it around every Sunday and twice on Sunday. The Indianapolis Colts has 6.
Well, now I think it gets even more interesting when you get to Indianapolis because now all of a sudden you're starting to look at offensive line. You got to be thinking offensive line. For me, who I would take offensive line wise at 6, more than likely would be Connor Williams out of Texas. He's definitely not ranked as high as I have him. So who will they end up taking? I would have to say at 6. This might be a little bit of a surprise. Andrew Luck can't stay healthy. Quentin Nelson.
Yeah, Quentin Nelson from Notre Dame. I like the kid.
Yeah, I think he's a good player, man. Yeah, I think that would be something to me that would be a good fit for them. Just find a spot for him. They've had a little movement on that offensive line. Find the best spot for him and go from there. Yeah, but Nelson's a good pick at 6.
Yeah, I love Nelson. I love the kid from Notre Dame. All right. Now picking number 7, my Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Well, you got kind of thrown off because it took Fitzpatrick off the board, right? So he's gone off the board. But I tell you like this right here, man. I'm gonna go ahead and throw another little bit of a change up.
Uh-oh.
If Chubb is off the board, if it's me right here at this pick, I'm looking for another dynamic defender. I'm gonna go a little bit off right here. I'm gonna go with Tremaine Edmonds out of Virginia Tech.
You see the check mark, Tremaine Edmonds out of Virginia Tech. I already knew where you were going. I put a check mark on that one on you. Uh-huh. I knew where you were going. I'm nasty too. Come on, give me the Chicago Bears. They need something in Chicago bad right now. When's the Windy City turn into anything that looks like football again?
Well, they kind of upset probably because Nelson is off the board. But if it's me again picking, and I know this is a little bit high and rich, but I think you got to get another, big time playmaker. If no playmaker really is high enough for me at this point. And by the way, we got Darnold slipping a little bit here, right?
Uh-huh.
So I mean, right, I'm just we doing it a little bit different. Let's just see how it all plays out.
Hey, well, let's get nasty.
Yeah, but if I'm Chicago, I take the best player available on the board, and because you got Nelson off the board, we're gonna go with Denzel Ward, and we're gonna continue to make our secondary better. Even though we've signed a bunch of people, we're gonna get even better in the secondary.
Get Sam to replace this Trubisky because
he ain't gonna. They ain't gonna give up on Trubisky. You can sell
Sam in Chicago better than Trubisky. They can't even pronounce the man's name.
Well, I mean, look, the bottom line is this. No matter what you've done so far, you need to do a little bit more. The defense, they got one of the better young defenses in the NFL.
I agree.
I think if you continue to make reinforcements on that side of the ball, if you can't get your offensive lineman there, because you need a receiver. You might as well wait to round 2. You need another guy to stretch the field. I know you signed Taylor Gabriel. I know you went out and got Allen Robinson, but you need another speed threat. And the best player on the board is Denzel Ward. Just take him and figure it out later.
Yeah, that's where we're going, Denzel Ward. But you need 30 points in the National Football League nowadays. Me and you growed up in a different NFL where, 17, 21, play good D, get your turnover late, secure the game. These kids ain't playing that type of football no more. They playing 30. You need 30 points to be in a football game now.
You do. I mean, no question about it, but at the end of the day.
That's why you're telling me to go get Denzel Ward and him and Trubisky get you some points. All right. You did say receiver, but you told me about that young defense, and I want to tell you, hey, that young defense, you better go get some points, and you did. Denzel Ward. We 9 with. What does John Lynch, my old safety, do? He go get Sam. We got Sam on the board for him. He needs a quarterback. No, he got the Garoppolo.
No, you know what? I mean, I think he definitely needs that, but what he really needs right now is a backup plan. And what I mean by that is you don't know what's going on with your Mike Backer.
So, yeah.
I mean,
yes.
So I mean, I love him, but we'll see what happens with his whole situation. I think you're gonna have to consider. It's a little bit rich. I think you got to consider Roquan Smith there. How high is he on your board? But I guess the best player available left on the board right now would probably be him. I would consider Harold Landry from Boston College. I think he takes Roquan Smith. They're going to have to make a move in a couple of weeks, one way or another, and it might be before the draft with that situation they're dealing with.
It's Raider time, baby. Raider Nation, stand up. Who they going with?
Well, I mean, you're looking at everybody on the board. I'm looking and seeing who's left. Ain't no way Darnold gonna fall this much, so we might as well already have a trade alerted. Somebody moving up, the Broncos moving up, and they gonna get Darnold. Some kind of way, Darnold, Rosen, and Allen will be off the board by now. The Raiders ain't gonna take Baker Mayfield. They just got their pick taken away from them because they were looking at Roquan Smith. They need a linebacker bad. There ain't no other linebacker to take right here. So the Raiders are going to go with Marcus Davenport on the other side of Khalil Mack. Not real necessarily big. I got my question marks about him, but I'm sure that's their next best.
This is a top 10 pick, draft nasty.
Yeah, well, that's what they're going to do. Look, the guy to take is Harold. You want the draft nasty pick? The draft nasty pick is Harold Landry opposite Khalil Mack. That's what I would go. That's the route we would go. That's how it's ranked on our board. But if we're doing the mock draft, I think they got Marcus Davenport, who fits the Raiders profile, right there in the mix.
Okay. I can't go out. I was just gonna do my top 10 with you, but there's no way I can leave South Florida without dabbing into the Miami Dolphins at number 11. Come on, give me something. The Dolphins need a quarterback, don't they, man? If Sam is here, the Dolphins take Sam, right?
Yeah, I think they would have moved up by now. They saw him go past 4. They would have moved up to get
Okay.
him.
All right. They gonna hemorrhage the franchise if one of them.
I don't know about that though. I mean, what are we saying? Are we saying he's more polished than what you could get back if Tannehill comes back healthy? I mean,
you like
Tannehill hadn't played bad in the league.
Ooh, he hadn't played good either, Corey.
Yeah, I mean, but at the end of the day, you're going to go out and get the guy.
All right, does not win a lot of football games on Sunday. Playing all right does not win a lot of football games.
What about the 23 turnovers last year for Darnold, though? That's not a concern coming in as a rookie?
Listen, I have so much concern with all these quarterbacks that I'm sitting here listening at them talk about this Josh Allen kid, and they're telling me he's having problems with reading the defense, and they got Ernie Zampese, who's good at working with quarterbacks up there in Cleveland waiting on him. I'm like, well, they ain't had nobody working with him in college? I know he's out in Podunk, Wyoming, but you do get to leave Wyoming in the summer. I mean, it's nice weather out there, but I'd like for you to go to the Peyton Manning Passing Academy or, the George Willingham, come on, man. Stop this, man. We got a camp or somewhere to go reading defense. I mean, I can read defenses. I'm a defensive lineman.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think it's just there's a certain bravado in his game where he takes some chance. You watch the Utah State game, first play of the game, he's rolling out. I mean, I talked to you about the interceptions and stuff earlier when they happened. I don't think he has an inordinate amount of turnovers, but first play of Utah State, where they happening when they're tied or behind.
Yeah.
So is he trying to do too much? Is it just the fourth quarter? Does he have problems producing in the fourth quarter? Maybe the best fourth quarter performer, it'd be an argument between Mayfield and perhaps Darnold. I think those two guys have made the most plays in the fourth quarter. I think that is a factor, and you got to be in your evaluation.
Oh no, because that's how we judge our NFL quarterbacks, on fourth quarter comebacks and overtime wins. That's. I mean, we mark them out like it's the crown jewel of everything you want, not knowing how they got to that position or whatever. Because sometimes the defense does help, but it is what it is. And all right, my last one, because only go as deep as the 12th pick, because I had 2 hours and 45 minutes to wait on it, and this guy might have just as long for his draft pick, if not longer. So the 12th pick, Buffalo Bills.
Well, I mean, if at this point we still got Darnold going to Miami, right? He moved up. We moved up to pick 6. Miami.
No,
back.
Did you? I thought we were talking about Teddy Hill and all of that. I mean, did you actually draft Donald Draft Nasty with that 11th pick?
No. You know who I would have drafted.
Yeah, you told me.
Yeah, Lamar Jackson. Because that's the number 1 quarterback. But again, like I said, I don't think
most upside. I like what you're saying. I seen the kid perform, and I like the way he performed.
Well, he had more yards. He had more yards rushing in school than Saquon Barkley.
but they play 2 different positions. I don't think
they play 2 different positions. But here's the problem, though. He has more yards, more touchdown passes than Allen.
Here's the real problem. Route 99, I'm getting off the exit because here it is. Your boy, RG3, has scared the bejesus out of any owner, GM, from this point forward with a mobile quarterback like that.
Yeah, I think he played in the Ron Earhart system. That Ron Earhart system goes back a long ways. It's got a lot of professional concepts. I don't think that was anything like what RG3 played in school. I mean, I think this kid is working hard to get better as a passer. Will he ever be tremendously accurate? No. I don't think
but he's going to do enough with his legs to overcome that little bit of inaccuracy. I know exactly what you're talking about because, hey, man, the game is wide open right now. And if you can get somebody out on the edges and threaten the perimeter and then be able to get that ball out of hand and avoid a rush, you got something special on your hand.
And where is most of the game being played at too? Between the numbers.
Oh, between the numbers.
And that's where he's
That's
most
what
effective.
listen, I told them they built the Autobahn down the middle of the damn NFL field, and there's a bunch of exits for you to get on and off. You ain't got to read no more coverages. You ain't got to know if it's man or zone. You can run across there with your arm up in the air. It is the craziest thing I ever seen before in my life.
Yeah, and I think that's going to work to his advantage. I think he's probably the one thing about him. He pushed the ball down the field in school. He didn't have a lot of I think a lot of people talk about RPOs. That wasn't a big part of their offense. You know, he was a guy that, and when he was inaccurate, a lot of times it was ball selling on him, and people have, you know, he's tried to reconstruct his throwing base. I don't know that all that's gonna transfer immediately for him, but I think he's a little bit more accurate. He had a lot of drop passes in school. He would have easily been over 60%. So I think some of it is a little bit of a misconception about just how inaccurate he is. Again, back-to-back years throwing for 3,500 yards. He threw for 30 touchdowns in 2016, threw for 27 touchdowns this year. I mean, heck, like I said, I don't know if there's ever been a player as productive as he's been at the collegiate level, period. You know, 3,500 and 1,500 back-to-back. I mean, I think we overanalyzing, or maybe they are, Lamar Jackson. I mean, he's a dynamic guy coming into the league.
That is draft nasty. Corey Chavous. All right, I can't let you go without, me and you just having a little conversation about a little topic I like because I'm a Cowboy fan. Dez Bryant.
Wow. The thing about Dez Bryant that I believe, Warren, is he's got to go to the slot. He's got to move inside. If he can move inside to the slot, that's where he's going to have the success, because he's big. He's got to learn, you really just digest himself when he goes to the next team. Whatever you want me to do, but I want to move inside to the slot. I think that'll extend his career because he's kind of like an H-back anyway. He's 225 pounds. You know, use some of your size to win some of those mismatches against linebackers and safeties. And on top of that, more importantly, get into that playbook so when you have a full, that you can really digest whatever they're trying to do within the system. I think that's going to be his biggest challenge.
There it is. Corey Chavous. DraftNasty.com. If you want something
well, what you think about Dez? Don't put me on the spot. What he got left?
You know what? I'm a Cowboy fan. I just got to leave it there because, when I think of a slot receiver, I think of one of them little water bugs, them little jitterbugs that go in and out and up and over, and that's really, really smart, and they can read the coverage and know exactly that safety's bluffing, and I can run up on him and get on top of his shoestrings, and then if I'm even, I'm definitely leaving. You know what I'm talking about, that old school. It's over at that point down the middle right now. I don't know if Dez can adjust to go inside, because to say you inside, that says you're not the number one receiver.
Well, you're right about that.
But you might be the number one option because me and you understand football.
Right.
But here's the thing. I believe these young kids, they believe in three things, Corey. Likes, views, and follows. If you ain't liking, following, or viewing what I'm doing over here, then what you doing? You hating. What?
Yep.
Hate? Wait a minute, young fella. You know what it requires for hate? Way too much, and then I will face the fires of hell. So I have no hate in my heart for anything, nothing. So what I'm doing is looking at you, and I've been around. Randy Moss was a teammate of mine. Jerry Rice was a teammate of mine. Meshawn Johnson was a teammate of mine. So I've been around the selfish. I've been around the greatest, and I've been around the ultimate weapon in the game. So when we're talking about that, I don't know if I know Randy Moss will go into a situation and get in the slot. So would Jerry Rice, because this is for the betterment of the team, and I can be effective in here, and they would understand that this is what this is about. But I don't think these young kids would understand that I'm taking you from the X or the Z and putting you inside to the slot. I think they look at it as that's disrespectful.
I mean, I don't understand that. I mean, I really don't, because.
But do you see what I'm saying and get?
Oh, no. I'm 110% on the same page with you, man. What I don't understand about that is this: you watch Larry Fitzgerald back to back 100 catches every year, in the slot.
In the slot.
So what are you talking about? You know what I mean? Like, I don't get it. I mean,
No.
To me,
They're not watching the game. They're not watching the game. They just see the highlight. They're not watching the game. They're not watching tape. I'm telling you, they're sleeping in these meetings, man. It got to be, dog. They got to be sleeping in the meeting or something, man. I'm telling you, dog. It's too much blind dog in the meat house running the wrong route in the wrong position, ball in the wrong arm. Just no fundamentals left in the game no more, dog. They spend all that time at the job and they do nothing except on their phones.
I think part of that has to be we got to blame ourselves a little bit, though, the NFLPA, in terms of taking away the practice time. We thought it would help, but I think it's hurt the fundamentals.
It's hurt. It's really hurt.
You know what I mean? Like,
really
I think you got to get tougher in training camp. You can't go I mean, think about if me and you would have been playing, we played in the same era. If we were playing and we didn't have padded practices, you might still be playing. So I mean, like, to me, that I understand preserving the body, but I think there's an element, if you've seen the increase in injuries because of that, these guys are contact adverse. They don't like it. You know what I mean? Like, we love contact.
And that's the one thing you got to love to play this game that we love, and that's some contact, because you're going to get it. The bang is out to 8. There's no more bang 8. The bang is gone.
Oh, it definitely ain't no more of that. You got that right.
Ain't no more bang. Yeah. Ain't no more bang 8. All right. Next time I'll be coming back, and I got to get me some after that draft nasty from Corey Chavous. How about that, my brother?
Yeah, give me. Hey,
listen. See, we're going to have to put an astronaut belt with me and you on, because the regular seatbelt ain't going to hold me and you, and we in here getting nasty like this. I thank you so much for joining me, my brother, and I will catch up to you next time.
I thank you so much too, man. I really appreciate it, man. You know how much of a fan I am of yours, man, and just with continued success, man. God bless, man.
Thank you, brother. God bless you too. Woo! I tell you what, that Corey Chavous will take you on a ride, and that's why I brought him on Route 99, because there's nothing like just the raw, just unadulterated, Corey Chavous and Draft Nasty. DraftNasty.com if y'all want to go over there and check it out, because it's just a beautiful place for all your draft information and a different perspective than, the NFL Network or OSTMAN up there in Bridgeport, Connecticut. Connecticut, Bristol. My bad. I don't want to tell y'all that it's up there. I'm a diehard fan. My man from back in the day. Bridgeport Coast Guard. The diehard 3 with a vengeance, if you know what I mean. I'm a movie buff, and I'll take you on a different ride whenever you're on the Route 99. So I'm going to let you take your seatbelt off, because we're pulling off the exit right now, because, I want to tell you a little something about my fishing adventures, because it's fishing time. That's right. It's the Bull and Cow, May the 3rd through the 5th down in Marathon, Florida. That's right, the biggest bull and the biggest cow dolphin you can find. We're not talking about flipper out there, y'all. This ain't flipper. This is the mahi-mahi, the dorado, that goodness. When you get dolphin fingers, this is what I'm talking about. It's one of the loveliest fishing to see. And it's such a beautiful tournament. My man, Big Jack, put it on. Jack Carlson and, Tom Thumb. They do a wonderful job as the head sponsor. Costa, Tuna Skin, all the good people come down there and do all good work. And, I'm going to Guatemala, too, to the Blackfin Resort. If you're any kind of fisherman, you have to know about the Blackfin Resort down in Guatemala, because we're going down there for a celebrity tournament. And hopefully I'll be coming back with a big trophy to show y'all. And I'll be talking about that and all my adventures of fishing whenever you come on the Route 99. Big Sal, taking off the seatbelt, signing off. Follow me, Route 99 Podcast on Instagram, Twitter. Stay tuned for more, because the big man has just getting started.
Whoa.